Hey, this is Sam Leonard. Hope you're having a good day. It's a bit snowy here in the UK, so hopefully I don't get too many snowflakes on my face. But today what I want to talk about is facing your fears, because something came up recently where I have the opportunity to grow, to do something that's going to push me outside of my comfort zone. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it just made me think of a point of, things that are uncomfortable to you are often where the most growth is. And, there's something important to remember, and that's that when we get a bit of anxiety before we need to do something, then sometimes, it's important to remember that the anxiety itself is more, that's where the fear is. It's like using, say, jumping out of a plane analogy. You often find that before you're going to do something, let's use public speaking as an example. That's something I've pushed myself to do in the past. You get quite a lot of anxiety just beforehand, if it's not something you're used to. And when you're actually doing it, it's like when you've jumped out of a plane, you're already doing it by then. There's nothing else you can do, and often that's the fear goes, because it's like you've jumped out the plane, you're in the public speaking position and you're doing it. You have to just do it. You have to do whatever is necessary. It's too late to go back. So it's really important to remember this, because, often we feel that anxiety just before we're going to do something. But, once you do it, just push yourself a few times. And, once you're doing it, it's not actually so bad. And you get quite a good sense of elation afterwards, because you're like, wow, I did this. And, it wasn't actually as bad. Nothing, horrendous happened. Public speaking, it's supposed to be one of the most feared things, even more than death itself, which is quite crazy if you think about it, because once you do it a few times, it's not actually as bad. And you've got to think about these things, once you start to study your own psychology, you think, well, why am I actually scared of this? And a lot of time, things like that is because you have you're worried about what people think. You have a fear of what other people think, or this whole thing about being having perfection is something we need to get over, because it's very rare that you get things perfect. This is why people are stuck in inaction half the time. So we have this thing where we want to be perfect, but that comes down to the fact that we want to be perfect so people don't judge us, or people don't think bad of us, or we're worried about what people think. And those things are going to happen anyway, whether you're really good or you're perfect in your eyes anyway. So sometimes it's good to think about the underlying psychology of why you might be anxious about something, but don't overanalyze it. Just if there's something that is uncomfortable for you, then that's probably what you want to be doing to get your next part of growth. And it's important to remember the underlying psychological patterns that we run, because sometimes we will talk ourselves out of stuff, or be like, oh, I don't need to do that, or that's not necessary. And sometimes you've got to think, well, actually, am I just avoiding this because this is uncomfortable? So yeah, and when you do these things, like I say, you've probably heard this a lot, of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. But really, the magic in life is outside of the comfort zone. If you live a comfort-centric life, then most people who do that, they're not fulfilled. If you're always pushing yourself, life becomes, a roller coaster of up and downs, of challenges, of adventures, of doing new things, of massive potential growth. And then, when you look back in a few years, people are like, oh yeah, you're lucky because, you've got all this success and stuff, and they don't realise what you've actually gone through, and like the personal development you've gone through yourself to push yourself to that level, to get those levels of growth and those skills, those public speaking skills, those leadership skills, those business skills, whatever it is that you're doing. And you've gone through that process, and that's experience. And most of the time we get there from failing, and failing forward, or failing forward fast. So if I'd been told this stuff when I was younger, then I would have done, I would have taken way more risks, because the younger you take risks and the quicker you do it, the quicker you get to where you want to be, the level you want to be at or heading towards. So yeah, look at where you are in your life. Most people know deep down the areas that they can improve on. Is it areas of communication, of leadership, or presentation? Is it business skills? What is it that scares you? What is it that's stopping you having your dream business, being completely fulfilled, of happiness, of doing what it is that you love? What's stopping you doing that? Often when people want to leave their job, it means that they realise the scam of working a monotonous job for someone else, and it means starting your own business, having a lifestyle business where you're not working as many hours, and that takes a level of new skills, new challenges, things that you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. So yeah, just look at that. Look at where you can push yourself, what things might make you anxious, and just take the leap. The first few times it might be a bit uncomfortable, or it might feel you messed up, or it was a bit embarrassing or whatever, but who cares? People are, whatever you do in life, people are not going to like you and people are going to judge you and everything, so you might as well just do what you want and you might as well get the growth and everything else. So just go for it. So if there's an area that you're anxious about, just have a look at that. If there's somewhere you think psychologically you might be avoiding, then just be honest with yourself and go for it, because ultimately when you come out the other end, you're going to be in a place where you're moving forward. People are going to be looking up to you. You're going to be a person of value. Anyone of value that's where the money is. You lead with value, you lead with contribution, and what follows that is money, because people will pay you for what you're worth. So yeah, that's it. Have a look at what you need to do next, and just go for it. Take the jump out the plane, and yeah, that's it for now. So I'm going to go and we're going to go home and warm up, because it's getting a bit colder here. So have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video.